Hi everybody, Raging back with another Mechabellum video. If anybody out there has difficulty against Vulcan Melter, this is the video for you. We're going to be playing against just that. And my opponent, I'm not sure what this name is, but he pretty much always plays Vulcan Melter whenever I've played him before. I've played him like 3 or 4 times. So I kind of suspect that's probably what he's doing again, especially because when I play him and he plays Vulcan Melter, he also likes to pick the cost control specialist. Since it gives him more supply, he can get into the giants sooner. And I have gone with Farseer specialist with sledgehammers and arc lights. He's actually selling the Mustangs already, so he's trying to get extra supply built up so that on round 2 he can go straight for the Vulcan. And I see that he sells the Mustang, so I'm like, okay, well, that's probably what he's going to do. And I'm actually setting up in an aggressive position, as I tend to do. So I've got my sledgehammers up here in the front, I've got the crawlers behind, and then I'm going to figure out where to put these arc lights. I'm pretty confident that I can beat his board. The Mustang Marksman opener is a tough start. It's really squishy, so it's kind of easy to kill, especially with sledgehammers and crawlers and arc lights. Like, these are like the perfect units against these dudes. So let's fly through round 1 here, since we kind of know how this is going to go. Crawlers will take the tower, and we'll mop up the rest. He's got a squishy board, and his specialist is even squishier. So my opponent gets photon coating offered to him, and since he's a Vulcan player, Vulcans do really well with items. I'm sort of thinking he's probably going to take this. He does take this. Redeployment for me looks pretty good. I'm trying to decide between advanced missile device, actually. So when you're playing against cost control specialist, advanced missile device is especially good since the cost control specialist's health on his units is lower. So if he gets stuff like Wraith or Farseer even, you can one missile them out. But I think in the end, I ultimately decide, to go with redeployment because this guy's not like on the line or anything, so it's going to be hard for me to hit like major units with missiles, since he tends to play back like this. I personally think that redeployment as a skill, jump drive, deployment module, I personally feel like those are the strongest. I think it's the strongest ability in the game. The ability to move units to where you really need them is super strong. Like, I actually think that it's potentially maybe even the strongest thing you can do. So he's taken another pack of crawlers and a Vulcan. I've actually leveled this arc light, and you're actually going to see how leveling this arc light, because he's cost control specialist, is going to work out really well for us. This arc light has 10,000 health, and this Vulcan has 32k, so it has a third of the health of the Vulcan, which is pretty significant, being just an arc light, and it also has significantly more damage, so it can actually take the Vulcan, which you can see here. So usually when a Vulcan or a giant comes out, especially on round 2, you tend to lose to it. So it's kind of good that we didn't lose to it here. So, okay. So he gets more Vulcan items. And so I know it's going to be one of these two. Nano repair kit's really good for Vulcans, especially early in the game, before there's good counters to it. Like, I can't get like a melter. I can't afford much that can kill this dude. being round 3, we now have our free Farseer, which is pretty good, actually. It should be able to take down this Vulcan, especially since this Vulcan fell last time. Now we just have more firepower for free. And I'm actually going to do something here that I don't typically do with Farseer. I almost never buy another one, because I feel like they're good to get for free from drops or like as a specialist. But because I need the DPS and I know this Vulcan is going to be over here, I do take another Farseer. I tend to just sort of sell them off over time, especially after round 5 or 6. And I've also taken the Nano Repair Kit. And I've opted to sell these sledgehammers that used to be here to free up a little money. And I grabbed myself a Phoenix. And I also put it on this side because I know there's going to be another dude here. So this is my plan at trying to kill this guy. And then I throw the nano on the sledgehammer that's still here. So this round will be much more difficult with a healing Vulcan. Other than that, it's going to go pretty similarly. We have good chaff clear with the arc lights. Actually going to take out all these crawlers and fangs. Now, the Phoenix has 120 meter range, and the Farseer has 125, so they actually push slightly ahead. And so because of that, the marksmen are going to be able to take them out, unfortunately. I didn't really think about that. And look how close this guy gets. It's so frustrating. We're not going to take him down, though. No, he's just going to heal back up. So that's going to be round 3. My opponent is going to take this round. Healing Vulcan's tough. I probably should have put the Nano Repair Kit on one of these Farseers instead of the tanks. Okay, so now, yeah, I take the Sabertooths because I just received my answer at killing these Vulcans. Sabertooth I think it has the highest DPS in the whole game. So should be able to take down Vulcans, even Nano Repair Kit Vulcans. And my opponent goes with the Scorpions. I kind of thought he was going to take the Wraith. Though we do have the Farseer on the board already, so I guess Wraith wouldn't be as good. I've redeployed the Phoenix to the flank, taking a mobile beacon. And it looks like I'm going to try and take his towers. Opponent picks up another Vulcan. Actually runs armor on Vulcan. Interesting. I haven't seen that before. And this flank is probably going to work, it looks like. Also take double shot on the Sabers and throw the Nano Repair Kit on this Saber to match his healing Vulcan, which I think my Saber should be able to win. Actually has more health. Oh, well, I guess it has about the same health since he's taken the tower defense. And I get more Sabers because I sort of suspect that he's going to be taking more Vulcans. And then I actually oil here. Let's see how this goes. This Phoenix will be good. Looks like we could use a little more chaff clear. The tower take is good here, though. That will keep everything alive long enough to start connecting to the major units. Goodbye, Scorpion. Goodbye, Vulcan. And a lot of our units live here, too. Like all of our major units, so that's a pretty good round. It's going to be some good damage. So opponent is feeling the pressure. Has 4 Vulcans. Shamelessly has 4 Vulcans. And then I see these two, and these two look super good. Yeah, Steel Ball production line. That's a really good card for him right now. I am looking at the Ion Blast, personally, or the Orbital Bombardment to try and take out, like, the Marksman. Opponent is going to simply missile my Phoenix. So, in theory... Oh, okay, he also has Fangs here. I do go with the Ion Blast. Okay, so now the melting points have come out. I have leveled these Sabertooths. See how I use the Ion Blast here. I think I sell the Phoenix, but I can't really remember what I do. Also take range on the Sabertooth. So I think that getting these two techs is super important for me here because I do suspect that the melting point is coming. And I will need a way to sit back and be able to still take out these giants with my Sabertooth. It's my only way of taking these dudes out. And so that's a pretty good read because this is exactly what I suspect. I do sell the Phoenix. Get another pack of crawlers. And a second pack. Now I'm just going to sort of see what am I up against here. I suspect the Melter, and now I see it. So honestly, this Ion Blast, I was kind of hoping it would be able to take out the Vulcan before it healed back up. But I mostly positioned it to be able to take out the Marksmen, which are most of his damage before he had the melting point. But this side's not going as well, the side with the melting point. And now my healing saber will die. But this side is still doing super well because it does not yet have a melting point. And so we take out all these other dudes. And we clear the tower, and we should be able to stop this as well. And these sabers have so much DPS, they can just take these dudes out from far away. So the range and the double shot here, extremely relevant, being able to delete these dudes. We take that round as well, even with the Melter coming out. Extended range Vulcan. I don't remember if he takes this. But it's not that bad for him. I mean, as cost control specialist, though, it would further reduce his HP. Yeah, so he doesn't take it. We've actually leveled another Sabertooth, so this dude's level 3 now. And a level 3 guy with double shot can like one-shot melting points. It's pretty crazy. I get the improved Wasp card, and I immediately grab some Wasps. Since he's kind of weak against Wasps, like, these Fangs will die. And the improved Wasp actually has increased health as well. The only thing that really can take it out is the melting points and the Marksman. And so that's why I'm taking the Wasp, because if the Wasps are able to get up in front of the rest of my stuff with 110 meter range, these guys have 135, they'll block most of the melting points stuff, little laser beams or whatever, and by time for the rest of my army, take these dudes out. That being said, my opponent now has Incendiary Bomb on 5 Vulcans, so the entire front part of this board is going to be on fire now. So I guess it's kind of good that I go into the Wasp, since I no longer will have crawlers, basically. On this turn also, I've redeployed my healing saber to the left side, just to get him away from this guy who leveled last time. And I'm just trying to sort of build a strong side now. I want to I want to be able to take this side heavy and then have my army turn and take out the rest of it, just kind of like how it did on the last turn. Like at the end when the two sabers were able to finish off the last two giants. I'm kind of trying to recreate that every single round by going heavy over here. And I still have my mobile beacon, and I actually use it in a really interesting way. That was pretty good here. Yeah, I mobilize these crawlers and Sabertooth. So because I do this, this will trigger the incendiary bomb, and then these dudes will run through his and his fire. So his chaff over here will be gone by his own hand. And all the while, these units will be running away, pulling these 3 units, or 4 units, over to the right, away from my tower. All the while, the Sabertooth will be shooting while he does that. That's the idea. I also give the Wasps range. My opponent just gets another Melter, gets the War Crimes. So you can see this Saber's already latched onto this dude. And look at this. Sabertooth shooting the whole time. This Vulcan now falls. Wasps in the front, distracting the melting point. Look at this dude. I loved that play. When I made that play, I was like, damn, that looked awesome. How these Sabertooths are just taking everything out. And honestly, his fire is really working against him here. Like, I feel like that play actually helped me this turn. And now we have enough Sabertooths where we're like, that's glorious. So we'll finish off the round here. So my opponent here is one bad turn away from losing the game. We get some free units on round 7. Has a couple ideas for me. The steel balls look great. Honestly, steel balls, I'm pretty sure I'd go with the steel balls. He has a bunch of giant units. This is a lot of level 2 steel balls. Like, I'm just going to throw them straight in there. The other idea for me here is to take Fortress and just kind of like sell it for money and then continue to sort of like develop what I'm already doing here. But yeah, the steel balls are basically exactly what I need in this position. He also takes the steel balls. I think he suspects I'm going to take steel balls, but also steel balls are pretty good at killing Sabertooths if they can get close enough. I've just leveled this tower to 3. I'm putting crawlers here on the right so that this Vulcan's incendiary bombs will shoot out onto the ground here, like over here, and it will burn his own chaff. It will also prevent this dude from shooting forward, which will keep my chaff in the front alive. And I'm actually redeploying this other big Sabertooth, so now I have 4 level 3 Sabertooths. And I'm just going heavy on this side. I'm defending against any cheese with these missiles. Getting range and energy absorption on the steel balls to be able to take out the giants. And if we can latch onto a melting point, it won't stand a chance. Opponent taking mech division on steel balls, so every time they die, they'll be making crawlers now. I'm going to missile out his front chaff so that my Sabertooths can auto-lock. Also taking rapid resupply, enhanced range, and temp speed, because I'm trying to just push for a win here on this round. I move these balls back because I'm going to mobile beacon this pack. So here we go. Look at that. Immediately locks this Sabertooth onto this Vulcan. And it's already dead. Wasp doing pretty good. My opponent has picked up Mustang against my Wasps. But it looks like the Mustangs are stuck shooting steel balls a little bit. Leveling this tower to level 3 will buy time over here. And look, everything's already pretty much gone. Improved Wasps, by the way, are still good against Mustangs. You can actually kill them pretty well. And it looks like we have enough alive where we win. So if your opponent goes heavy into Vulcan Melter, something that you can do is you can play with Sabertooths. I love steel balls into this composition. And usually I don't play Wasps against Vulcan Melter, but improved Wasps are especially good. They actually hit harder and they have more health. So the main benefit is that they have more health. They can actually tank Mustangs relatively well. You can see Mustangs, cost control Mustangs have 36 damage. These dudes have 1,000 health. So like that would take them a long time. All in all, my opponent sort of just went with the war crimes and the ranged melting point kind of mindlessly. You know, you'll see this a lot. I'm sure that a lot of people play against stuff like this. And all you really have to do is just kind of stay on top of the chaff clear and make sure that you're able to hit these giants early enough in the game where they can't get levels. So the main problem that my opponent experienced during the game was that I was able to consistently take out his giants and prevent them from leveling. The moment that these Vulcans start getting levels, you're going to have a bad time. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope that this was instructive. If anybody has difficulty playing against this, you can kind of give a composition like this a go. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. Steel balls with range and energy absorption, good at taking out giants. Wasps with range, good at distracting the melting points for the rest of your army. And Sabertooths with double shot and range. Honestly, these dudes just carried the whole game. Thanks very much for watching the video. I will see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.